Well, President Obama is GOP presidential candidate Mitt Romney, I should say, is getting a lot of attention today for his latest example of how he says President Obama is out of touch with the struggles of everyday Americans. Governor Romney saying, quote, when the president's characterization of our economy was, it could be worse, it reminded me of Marie Antoinette saying, let them eat cake. Governor Romney, of course, referring to the unfortunate Queen of France, who some believe made that dismissive remark about the poor before losing her head in the French Revolution. Sally Cohn is founder of movementvision.org, and Chris Plant is host of The Chris Plant Show. So, as it turns out, Marie Antoinette may not have made that comment. In fact, it existed when she was just about 9 years old. It had been printed in various books. But the point is, Governor Romney is suggesting that President Obama is out of touch the same way Marie Antoinette or whoever made that remark was said to be out of touch when they said the poor couldn't afford bread and they said, let them eat cake.
Yeah. Well,
is it a fair criticism? I'll start with you, Sally.
Well, first, Megan, I want to set the record straight on something else. You were out of touch when you suggested that Rick Santorum and sweater vests were out of style. I got to tell you. Look, I'm a proud sweater vest wearer, so let's set that record straight first. I think you're just jealous,
women
Megan.
Can do it better than men can.
I don't have much in common with the man, but that we have in common. Look, in terms of Mitt Romney calling Barack Obama out of touch, that's like the pot really calling the kettle black. And I don't just mean calling the black president black. I mean, Mitt Romney is Mr. 1%. Barack Obama, when he ran for office, was worth $1.3 million, which is a heck of a lot of money. But as we all know, by the standards of people running for president, is actually not very much. Mitt Romney is worth anywhere, and we don't actually know, estimates from $250 million to $1 billion. Money he made, by the way, not selling books, but selling out businesses and shipping jobs overseas.
Oh, boy.
That is out of touch.
Oh, boy. Go ahead, Chris.
Boy, attack, attack, attack. That was the veritable kitchen sink there. Of course the president's out of touch. Of course this president has been out of touch forever. He comes from the faculty lounge. He is, I don't care what he was worth when he ran for president. He's worth millions and millions of dollars.
$7.3 million, reportedly.
He is currently staying in an $8 million mansion overlooking the ocean in Hawaii. He and his wife flew out on separate Air Force airliners in order to be there. They have a Belgian water dog, okay? Of course this guy, they're Harvard Law School grads. Of course
You're picking on his dog? Come on, don't pick on the man's dog.
Who gets a Belgian water dog? Obviously, I can assure you Mitt Romney never thought of buying a Belgian water dog. Of course they're out of touch. In fact, you know, I'm sure that you saw, Sally, the piece in the Hill newspaper here in Washington on December 13th. A Democrat congressman, Dennis Cardoza, wrote a piece that just scorched the earth around Barack Obama as someone who is completely out of touch with Congress, with his own cabinet, with his own staff, with the common man, quoting people in Barack Obama's administration. The Democrat congressman was in the Hill saying that he doesn't speak to normal people, he doesn't speak to members of Congress, he doesn't even speak to his own cabinet members, and his shrinking inner circle is sort of a very small cadre of people that he's left talking to, but they don't talk to people outside the Beltway, according to his own staff in the White House and Democrat Congressman Dennis Cardoza. Of course he's out of touch. He's completely out of touch.
Yeah, but I mean, again, okay, so first of all, politicians in general, unfortunately, have a tendency toward being out of touch, both because they're in the bubble that is Washington and political elite circles, and because they spend their time with the super rich and with big business and CEOs trying to raise money. Look, but first of all, my point is, for Mitt Romney to call Obama out of touch is
well, I want to ask you about that, Sally. But let me ask you about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that that might be a strategy by Mitt Romney to sort of, to preempt an attack against him by President Obama, that he is out of touch? Because this comes not that long after, at that debate, he said, "Oh, I'll bet you $10,000." And people said,
no question.
He's out of touch. He can't relate. And so now it's sort of, he's already turning the tides on the president.
Yeah, it is entirely a preemptive strike. Look, the last time he complained about Barack Obama's vacation in Martha's Vineyard, it came out 2 days later that Mitt Romney was bulldozing his $14 million beachside home in California in order to make it 3 times bigger. I mean, come on. The guy is not exactly in touch with the average suffering. This is the guy who said, ha, 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 I'm unemployed too. I mean, and I'm looking for a job. But if we agree that politicians being out of touch is a larger problem, then we should be supporting campaign finance that gets money out of politics so that regular people can run for office. and actually bring politics back to people. I don't understand why we're
Chris,
not having that conversation.
How much of this, alternatively, as opposed to being a strategy by Romney to avoid the charge against himself, is based on a narrative that's emerged about President Obama over the past few years? And when he was running for president the last time, remember how much heat he took because he didn't eat the Philadelphia cheesesteak and instead he liked the arugula lettuce, and then he got criticized for that, right? And then you point out that
and his dog.
the fancy. Well, I don't think Mitt Romney wants to talk about family dogs because there's a story out there about that they don't like. But listen, then he get criticized for the expensive Hawaii home and the Martha's Vineyard $22 million mansion. And so is Mitt Romney doing something smart by tapping into a narrative of the president's out of touch, he's up here, regular folks down here?
Well, maybe as a political strategy, it probably makes sense for them to get out in front of this and to paint Barack Obama as he is, by the way. And it's interesting that Sally used the figure $14 million because that's the amount of taxpayer money that the Obama family has spent this year on vacations. This year, $14 million. Look, this is not about whether Mitt Romney's out of touch. Mitt Romney's in touch with the private economy. He's in touch with business, with the real world. He's not a community organizer. He's out there doing, he has been for decades. And the fact that he's been successful is something that the Obama administration, out of touch as they are trying to get the rest of us to resent. And that's what this administration is all about. And it's a do as I say, not as I do. The hypocrisy is glaring. And it's, of course, appropriate for the Mitt Romney campaign to point this out. But long before Mitt Romney said this, it was pretty clear, and even Democrat congressmen were saying it, that this president is just not in touch with the regular guy. He never was.
I mean, look, before I go, as a regular guy yourself, Chris Plant, yes to the sweater vest or no?
No to the sweater vest.
No.
The sweater vest, the dog, honestly, Chris, you're striking me as out of touch.
On a woman, it's different. But otherwise, on a man, it's too Bing Crosby for me.
If you're going to argue that a man who shipped jobs overseas and made billions of dollars is less in touch than a guy who spent his career on the streets of Chicago,
and we'll leave it at
the streets of Chicago, right here in the White House, and he's destroyed more jobs than Mitt Romney's.
We're taking our viewers' final word of the sweater vest at Kelly@foxnews.com. Happy New Year, Sally and Chris. Well, they failed to collect enough signatures.